Okay, beautiful. So I was like tuning into this call today, and for everybody who's here and for the people popping on, and if you're watching the replay, and just, I've been in this for 6 years, and everybody who's here right now, it feels like a really good group of people. Like the way I just feel in my body about all of you and what we're creating and the energy of now feels so good to me. Like it just brings me so much happiness and calmness and joy. And you've heard it before, and I'll say it again. Sorry, I'm like pinching my, I look like I'm doing a mudra, but I actually cut my finger, so I'm just holding the blood in. Um, all good, minor little. Both of my children are home today unexpectedly with sniffles. So, in this business, we often say our success is a direct result of how many people we can help. And I really, because I'm feeling so good about all of you in this group, I really want to open this up and let you know I am here to help you get to where I am and beyond. Like, I really want you to know that and feel that. I have the blueprint, I've walked the path. I'm here to help you along the way. And that's both skill set, like the how, but also the mindset, the body set, the embodiment, all of those pieces, like collecting ourselves back into who we are so we can walk that path into the golden glory of our absolute most resplendent dreams. That's what I'm really here to support you in doing and pour into you belief that you can. I know you can because when I started out, I was a fraction of who I am today. And everything is here for us to really come home to who we are and to step into that vision that we have for ourselves. So on today's call, we're gonna, get to know each other a little bit better because that's a huge part of this as we work as a family, as a team, as we know each other's whys, as we're inspired by each other's stories, as we hear how each of us works through personal obstacles and has breakthroughs, all of that is helping us rise together. We really do rise together. We rise by lifting others, and all ships rise with the tide. So I'm really excited that we're going to drop in a little bit here today. And so I want to open it up first to share voices. And I'd love it if we could each introduce ourselves by sharing two things: our name, so three things, obviously, our name, what you're feeling most lit up about and excited about in your Purium business right now. And then thirdly, your why, like any pieces of your why that you want to share right now would be really beautiful to connect into personally and also to share with each other. So I'm just going to open it up and, we'll just do it popcorn style. Feel free to come off mute and share.
Hi, this is Nora. Can I go first?
Yes, thank you, Nora.
I'll turn on my camera for this because I'm still at work. So I have a corporate job. So that is one of okay. So this is Nora, and I've been doing Purium probably 2 years, maybe going on three. I didn't come on board to do the business. I just came on board to try the product out. I'm already plant-based, and I was already trying several other protein shakes. And so it took a year for me to finally say yes and try it out. And then I just, it was just to try out the product. I get inspired being in this community, and everything Christina just said, that it's possible for me. Like, that's what I want. And I really need help with the mindset stuff, because part of what holds me back is that I'm so accustomed to being in corporate America that I'm stuck in the comfort of it, even though I want so much more. And, I would eventually want to quit my job so I can do this more. And even though I'm remote and I can work from anywhere, I'm still attached to the schedule, Monday through Friday, whatever that is. And so anyways, I think my biggest why would be for me to be able to to quit my job. And then, everything else from there is to buy the product for my mom. She enjoys the product, and money's tight. I can't just buy her all the stuff she wants and all the stuff I want. Really just the freedom that comes with my own scheduling. Thank you.
Okay. I thought Christina was gonna say something. I think everyone can hear me? I'll go next. Let's see.
We can hear you, Sarah.
Okay, sorry. I was just like looking, I'm like, how does Zoom work? Okay. Yeah, so I'm Sarah. I wrote down what you said. Okay, so I'm really excited. I just started. I'm probably like the newest person on here. And I have not done a whole lot, but I was just so excited about the product. Erin is my upline. She's the one that introduced everything to me. And it's been kind of like intimidating for me so far because I'm also at my job right now and have been like very also, I want to say like kind of indoctrinated in corporate America since I left the home. So I don't want that anymore. Like I totally resonate, Nora, with like everything you were saying. Like it's the schedule, even though like a lot of people have the option to do remote right now. Like for me, it's not even just the schedule. It's also just like doing something that I actually feel aligned with, that I actually feel like proud of. Like a lot of people can say that they're proud of like being military or like whatever their job is, but that's not something I ever really felt. And this is something that I feel like proud to say, like, oh yeah, I'm in network marketing. And they're like, what do you sell? And I'm like, this amazing product that can like actually transform people's lives. And I'm already feeling it from myself and seeing it from my husband. Like I love that so much because Erin did my whole astrology reading. Apparently, I'm destined to be in a health-based business, and it feels like that. Like I really feel excited to be doing something that helps people, especially my family. Like none of them we've never been in like great financial positions, so like being able to provide for them in a way that at least would like get them started on the path. Like I'm not going to do everything for them, but to like give them the option, show them like it's worth investing in yourself, and to just like kind of like some of them give the middle finger, some of them give like the here's the like the trail, I'm starting it for you. But yeah, so that's my why, and I'm just really excited about everything. I'm excited to learn a lot of like I feel like I don't know a whole lot about like the actual information, but I did just get off of watching the replay with Leslie Zann from, I think it was the one she did yesterday, and I love her spirit. I love like she just seems like a wealth of knowledge. Everybody in this, it's just like it seems like they know so much. So it's really great to be like here and be with people who are willing to share that. Whoever wants to go next.
Good to see you, Ariel. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. My wife and for just about I've
Ariel, it probably works
I
if
went
you.
Yeah,
I found
we're losing you a little. Maybe go off video and see if that works better.
hear me better now.
Yes, yes.
My wise recently ended. I've driven and chosen farming and teaching people, but really struck home. Or eating is not as new. I joined
Maybe
the food.
not. It's still pretty glitchy. Maybe you want to try calling in. We'll send you the number.
Is it okay? I'll do that.
I mean,
Thanks.
every time you talk to check, you sound great. And then when you start talking, we can hear you.
I just changed the
Oh yeah.
type of
Go.
audio.
You
Okay.
sound great.
Okay, cool. So I joined the Bionutrient Food Association, which I highly recommend because they are seeking to bring nutrient-dense food back into the population. But I just had a relative die after, the standard American diet. She ran a resort in her retirement age, and basically worked until she started getting sick like 2 years ago. And seeing the food that the caretakers were eating and, probably what they were serving her, it is sad. And I want to educate people and have solutions that are turnkey and help bridge that gap until people are really able to grow their own food or be part of the regenerative agriculture movement in whatever form they can be. And I have 2 small children, so I'm excited to model to them what owning your own business and being stress reduction, in a stress-free environment can look like. And I'm really excited to host a live event. I'm just sitting actually at my friend's, waiting to talk with her about using her space to throw a live event here in Mount Shasta. So if you know anyone, let me know. All right. Thank you, Christina, and everyone for being here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dauncey. It's nice to meet everyone. I'm brand spanking new, and I really appreciate the stability and nutrients that I've been receiving from using Purium. I've been wanting to try to incorporate a more of a vegan diet, and I was struggling with feeling full and feeling nourished. And so I've been taking it now for I think 12 days or so, and I'm feeling super grounded. And so I really appreciate that. I also really feel like this really coincides with some massive personal development that I've been needing to do, which is putting myself out there to speak and to be vulnerable and to be seen and to be heard. I typically have always held back from doing that, and I've been really trying to do that a lot more. And so this is kind of like forcing me to become comfortable with being seen and heard.
Can I go? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Why don't I show up on the big screen? Should I be showing up on the big screen for myself?
You are for me. I don't know why it does that. Just trust.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Erin. I joined Purium about a month and a half ago. And what's really exciting me in my business right now is I live on the Standing Rock Native Reservation. I've lived here for a year and a half, and I knew that the CEO, Dave Sandoval, is it David or it's Dave, right? Dave Sandoval, brought these superfoods to the No DAPL movement. We simply can't see ourselves. Brought these superfoods to the No DAPL movement, and I didn't really look much further into it, but I was curious to know what that connection was like. And then I don't know if any of you were on the, I know Ariel was on the Million Mom movement. I think she was. Actually, I don't remember. But if any of you were on that Million Mom movement call yesterday, rewatch it if you can. It was amazing. But I found out how connected, because I don't have a whole lot of connections in the community here yet. We have a decent amount of connections, but me personally, I don't have a lot of connections with people I think that would be interested in this kind of thing. We're mostly just working on construction and building at this point, meaning I'm, it's mostly just like worker guys who I don't really talk to them about superfoods. So I've recently found out that there is a chief of a part of the Lakota Nation, a certain tribe in the Lakota Nation, which isn't a specific tribe, but it's still the same nation, who has partnered specifically with Dave Sandoval, and they've created a pack specifically for the Native community. And so now I have this whole network, and they've created their own superfood company branched off of Purium called Chasing Horse Superfoods. So now I have this just huge vision of what I can really do here in my physical reality, because everybody was talking about live events. And I was like, how the heck can I do live events here? Like, no one can afford it. I don't really know. I don't know people, but now I have people I can talk to. And we're going to open a cafe here at some point, a community center type place. So it's like my business just became like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to market online and Instagram. And with all my connections, I don't know anybody here in South Dakota other than the few people I do know here. But now I'm like, wow, I can really impact my community here. So I could probably talk for an hour about it, but that's been really exciting. And then my whys that have been coming up for me big time lately have been, gosh, just like how aligned and natural it's felt to do this business. I mean, I've definitely had to work through blockages and like parts of myself that are like, am I really all in this? But the more every day that goes on, I'm just more and more in it. So that's been so nurturing for me, because for so long I never felt comfortable doing one thing. I always felt like I wanted to do a bunch of things, and I still have a lot of visions, but I truly feel like Purium is something that my whole heart and soul in, and feel like so in it. And then yeah, it's just felt so aligned. And I've also gotten to the point where at first I was kind of like, there's this whole Instagram culture where a lot of people are talking about like making money from the parasympathetic and just like flowing. But so at first, with the whole point system and everything, especially because I was about to give birth, I was like, I need to be more chill. This is a bit like too businessy for me right now. I just want it to like flow. But I've gotten really into the whole point thing. I'm like, my husband's like, this is like a game. I'm like, it's like a game. Like, yes, you're doing work that's in such high integrity and you're in so much service, but it's fun. Like you can let it intimidate you, maybe like, oh my gosh, points and all this stuff. But I'm like really enjoying it. I'm like, oh, I want to hit these points and I want to make this sale and I can go to this person's house. And that's been a big mindset shift for me in the past week, is like really enjoying the business aspect of it, not just loving what we have to offer, but like, wow, this is a really cool business model. It's really fun to work for points. And like, if you sell 3 in a week, you can get 500 points. And it's really motivating. And so I'm kind of like really loving how my mindset has shifted from like being really resistant to all the business stuff, like, but to now just like really loving it. So yeah.
I love that share. And it's really fun to like feel when we can like really piggyback off each other's enthusiasm and frequency. And when you're feeling it, like that's the energy and the magnetism that other people are going to be attracted to you with. So thanks for that. So I'm Erica. If some of you don't know me, I've been in Purium almost 6 years side by side with Christina from forever ago, the very beginning. And I'm here to share today that I have sort of been coming out of some months of inactivity and making a decision to relaunch my business and just intentionally direct energy into growing this again. I have definitely just had my focus in other directions in life. I have a lot going on in a super busy life. But what I find is that I can always return to Purium. And there's the beauty of what this business model offers us, which is that we can ebb and flow with it. We can be full-time moms, full-time entrepreneurs of other endeavors, and do all these different like multitasking lifestyles. And yet Purium offers this rock and this anchor that I'm always grateful to be able to return to. So I kind of reached a clarity point with myself recently where I was like, okay, I have some strong like financial goals, and I know that I can immediately tap into Purium and make them happen. And so it brings me here with, a conviction and a certainty that I want to do exactly what I know I can to meet the goals that I have. And so I'm grateful to be able to leverage this whole experience. And what I see is that there's always something like new and amazing right around the corner that we get to grab a hold of. How great that there's always something relative to what matches our mission and our values and the moment to be alive, and like the trends and the sales and the promos. Like it's one of the coolest things that you can put the business down, you can still earn from it residually, and then you can decide it's time to put energy and feed it again, and then just be fed by it more. So I'm excited and grateful for that. And also feeling what it feels like to have been in this journey for a long time and taken my foot off the gas pedal and then decided to put it back on. And it's definitely not been the path to success in this business to be inconsistent. And I've learned this lesson many times over. I also give myself compassion for being in like potent metamorphosis. Actually, I don't know if you can see, I have like a butterfly on my bun this morning. She's like my totem. She literally was just birthed this morning beside me, and she's like got her newly unfurling wings drying out. And yeah, I'm just kind of like coming out of a cocoon and a metamorphosis. And so I'm carrying around this beautiful spirit animal that also is helping me remember, like, this is the time when so many people are also feeling change. And like, change is uncomfortable. Like, struggles are real for so many people. Like, the need to change with our finances, with the people and relations and community in our life, with the health patterns and the lifestyle choices that we have. Like, so much is on the table for review and assessment right now. So I'm doing my inner work, and I'm also excited to leverage this in my business. And part of where I'm at in a journey 6 years down the road, this is the last thing I'll share because I know it's lengthy, but it's that I recognize I don't feel as inspired to like pick up the phone and start talking about superfoods with people, because I've already done so much of that. And I've already enrolled like hundreds and hundreds of people who know me who want to chat about health. But I'm really enlivened and passionate about talking to people where I feel like it really matters, which is creating win-win solutions and helping be part of bringing solutions where people really need them. And I was chatting with Christina earlier this morning saying, luckily we live locally, so we have the good fortune of being able to work together in person and host live events and collaborate on things. But I feel really inspired by having like some holiday themed support local small businesses and grow affiliate relationships. Like, if I can network right now with other entrepreneurs and other small business owners and really elevate local economy by helping people all have an opportunity to share about what is our mission, product, service, create little, like I heard Roxanne Ruby say yesterday, little like holiday bazaar or whatever, but just a networking event where it's business forward and we're proudly there to share what we do, how we can be of service to people, what solutions we can provide, and give everyone a chance to bring forward what they're doing so that we can all mutually elevate each other. So that's my next campaign. I'm really moving into the holidays with just like that business forward energy. I want to network with people who want to really be advantaged by referral marketing and like affiliate and promote and refer each other to our businesses, and really be a voice for like, let's redirect our energy and our resources away from consumerism in box stores and like, spending money unconsciously over the holidays culture, and get into like conscious commerce and really being live heart to heart in person and elevating one another in our business ventures. So that's what I'm going to be starting with this holiday season. Thanks for inviting me to share.
Woo! Thank you everybody for sharing. And yeah, normally I would pop in between each share, but that's part of what we're doing here, is not needing the leader, right? Like we are each the leader, every single one of us. And leadership is everything. That has really become just such a glaring theme everywhere I go. And I will, and I am going to comment on everybody's share. I took notes, but I loved it. Just letting that awkward pause be there and know, like, oh my gosh, it's my turn to pick up the mic and go, and just to feel that, to feel the butterflies. I love that butterfly on your head. That's so awesome. And this is what we do. And I love Dauncey sharing about, this is an invitation for me to be seen and heard and put myself out there. And that is a huge part. How are we going to be located if we're not letting people know where we are and who we are and what we're about? So I'm gonna kind of go through each of the shares, and I think I'm gonna, the one that I'm really excited about, Erin, this idea of overcoming the maybe the initial nervous system response to points and momentum and faster and UBT, and right, like drop a 1 in the comments if you've had at any time that, like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming, like panic or anxiety or stress or overwhelm or disassociation or like avoidance or I'm going to run away, you know, like any kind of nervous system response other than pure excitement to the promos and the systems and all that stuff. And I know exactly what Erin is talking about. Of there's a trend of making money from the parasympathetic, and I truly, truly feel committed to creating that every single day in my Purium business. And that isn't something like it's a thing out there and you go and do it. It's something you create within yourself. And that's true for life. Like anything out in life can be a trigger to our nervous system. And so we're in a day and age where we're learning how to work with our nervous systems. I would say just about everybody is coming out of trauma of some kind, whether you've been inheriting it from the dark ages of Europe or your people being colonized or, you know, abuse and addiction in your home growing up, whatever it is, like we're all coming out of and unfurling our wings from some form of trauma, however distant. And now we're in a day and age and we're in a culture where talking about nervous system tools and regulation is common, right? And drop a 2 if that's like, if any of those words get brought up on the daily in your world. I mean, at least in Purium they do, at least in my business, like, you know, learning how to work with the vagus nerve and how to really ground ourselves and breathing techniques and, you know, co-regulating. And if we're a mother, you know, we're very much tuning into our children's nervous systems and seeing how vital it is to regulate ourselves. And then in training, right, where so many things that happen as in parenting and any relationships and business. So, okay, so maybe not everybody. And I would invite you, as part of, you know, what you heard Leslie speak a lot about was the vitality of personal development in this business. We get a lot of it within all of these Zooms, within all of the mentors within. And it so helps because we're all coming from different places to go out there and go harvest personal development from all sorts of places on the interwebs or the library or whatever. And learning nervous system tools has been absolutely crucial for my own life and certainly my business. So I believe that we can each make a practice of looking at what's possible on our business plate, what's possible within our path. Notice which areas are going to be triggers for us or challenges, and then bring to the table our tools and our practices to move through them, staying as regulated as possible. I do believe that we have that ability, and we can help each other in that too by knowing each other and like holding that. So I really liken it to I always talk about the bicycle metaphor, that this business is easiest when we're in momentum. To get into momentum, you have to push that initial push on the pedal. It's going to be a little hard because it's coming from zero. And there's a lot of people who will do that first push on the pedal and be like, nah, this is too hard. I'm not into, and then they're like, I'm not into bicycle riding. That was too hard. You didn't even get to the bicycle riding. You just were trying to push the pedal and never got it going into momentum. And that is such a great metaphor for what we have here, because when we are in momentum in this business and the points are flying in and we're hitting UBT and people are reaching out to us and we're hitting ranks and we're helping other people hit ranks and K clubs and all these things, I don't know about you, but that's a really fun place to be. Like, it may be a little dysregulated or whatever. It may not be the most grounded state, but it's really fun. And it's up to us. If we decide I want to be in a place of like super groundedness as I'm like kicking ass, you can make that a reality too. You can be that queen that's just like, yep, I created all that. And, you know, but for me, my little girl comes out and she's like, wee, this is so fun. I don't even know how it's all happening, because you've entered the vortex. You have given yourself up to something much bigger than you. And you're coasting on the bike, like you're just flying at this point, and it doesn't feel like work. It does not feel like work. It doesn't feel like a trigger. It doesn't feel scary anymore, right? So much of this is helping ourselves see that it's safe to expand. It's safe to be that butterfly unfurling. It's safe to grow. It's safe to claim. It's safe to become a leader and lead ourselves. So that's really, I just, you know, thank you, Erin, for bringing up this piece about nervous system regulation, because, or nervous system, just working with the nervous system and money and business. It's so important and really, really helpful for being able to stay consistent and stay in the game and get to that place where it is momentum, and trusting ourselves and becoming a leader, and then being able to hold that for other people. So I wanted to speak to that, and what I'm going to be getting into on this call is helping each one of us get integrated with the promos and with the elements of the game, right? It is totally a game, and we can play it with joy. And it's important to like kind of understand it. And it's just going to come in layers. So wherever your understanding of it is now is perfect, and wherever your understanding of it as at the end of this call is perfect, and where you're just going to keep having it wash over you. The next wave, you'll be like, oh yeah, and now that piece, and now that piece, right? We're always learning in this business. And the beautiful thing is we still earn as we learn, and we learn by doing. So we're just going to keep showing up. So thank you, everybody who showed up today or is watching the replay, because this is really going to help sink it all in. I see that you have a question, Erin, or you have your hand raised. So let me bring you on in.
I just wanted to offer a quick reflection from what you just said, because I've thought about this so much. Like, there's so much of this push yourself culture, like expand, 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 quantum leap, and there's so much of this nervous system regulation culture. And we need to find the sweet spot that's between both of them, because I grew up with a mom who focused so much on self-care that it actually kept her from being able to expand at all, because she was constantly keeping herself safe. So I think that's actually a really damaging way to live. I think the nervous system regulation focus can make people feel like they're not safe to expand, but at the same time, there's also another kind of, there's like two sides of the polarity, and you have to be in the middle where you're regulating yourself and finding that safety, but you're also expanding, and you're learning how to do both instead of focusing always on regulation. And oh, like we all have traumas, we're going to feel them. So how do you find that sweet spot where you're expanding in the ways you want to, but you're not pushing yourself too hard? I just love that balance in the middle there, because I think with this business, it's like exactly where you want to be. You want to be feeling that expansion. And then if you're feeling like it's a bit much, okay, I'm going to take the day off and just relax. And then I'm going to expand again instead of constantly, because I cocooned myself all year feeling like I couldn't expand. But the expansion heals our nervous system itself when we learn to not feel unsafe with money, when we learn to not feel like unsafe when we're put up against, oh my gosh, am I going to be successful or not? And getting rid of that nervous system response to that fear of not being successful is something so huge that's just happened for me. Like, I'm not afraid of that anymore. It still comes up sometimes, but there's so much regulation that can happen in those expanded states. So I just want to say that.
So good. I love that you just said the expansion itself heals the nervous system, instead of just staying safe and keeping to ourselves. Like, and how many of us have experienced that, just going live on Instagram or just being seen, and then we're like, oh, I did that. And there's a high from that because you're like, oh, I made it through. I am safe. Like, I get to now have a new experience of what safety looks like, and also what service looks like, and also what connection looks like, and all of the things that expansion is. So beautifully said. And that, it just feels like a theme for this team. I know each of you in different ways. And I really believe that is a huge piece. We're not just, like Erica said, we're not just bringing superfoods to people. We're not just bringing healing or health solutions. We're bringing business solutions, and not just money, and not just part-time online residual. All of that is amazing. We're bringing this next thing of how do we do it and really avoid the burnout and really stay true to who we are, and show, if we have children or we just have community, show people this is what it can look like to really rise up whole and grounded and nourished and nurtured and connected and cooperating and collaborating with others. So it is a practice. It's a daily, like, coming back to that. And sometimes I think of Leslie Zan as, she's people call her a firecracker. She's really high energy, or type A, or all these things. And sometimes that can be a little abrasive to my nervous system. So that's my choice of how do I work with what she brings to the table. Because as Sarah shared, she also has this huge heart, and she has a lot of magic in what she brings. And she reminds us of the tools that are out there. She's a powerful manifester. She's told some incredible stories of how she's manifested the homes that she has to the minutest detail, in her own visioning. And so it's such a blessing that we have her. And I want to recap some of her. There were 2 amazing calls with her. Yes. So I was on 3 calls with her in the last, 36 hours or whatever, between her Tuesday training, and then she came to Unite to Rise for us yesterday. And then we had that special training if you did any customer referrals, and she led a whole hour-long training on referrals, which Erica touched on, the power of showing up as, you could see yourself as a superfood salesperson, or you could see yourself as an entrepreneur who's here to provide financial solutions. Because, at the root of it, we all know that most health issues come because people are eating poisoned food, right? Most disease is diet related. And most of that is because either the soil or the food itself, the way it was grown, or afterwards was chemically enhanced. We know that it's just poison in the food, right? So why do most people eat poisoned food? Somebody type in the chat or come off you. It's like the #1 reason why people eat shit.
I think it's just what's most accessible, like financially, or like
Financially, that's it, finances. So at the end of the day, we're still looking at money being at the root of all health issues, and we have the financial solution That's why the business is our best product, because it affects health too. So I say all that, and I love that Erica brought that up, because the power of really, this has been my calling card since, I mean, my mentor Sarah will say that I didn't get on board with it right away, so don't feel bad if this takes time. But I would say pretty early on in my career, I postured myself as an entrepreneur with financial solutions. Like I did what's called leading with the business. And that brings in brand partners, Erica being one of my very first, definitely my first, like, go get them brand partner. Because as you'll find out, some brand partners don't go get them and some really do, right? And it's fine. That's why it's a ratio. We want to enroll enough people, we want to talk to enough people to get the ones who enroll, and we want to enroll enough to get the ones who really fly. Having brand partners on your team is everything in this business. It makes everything more fun. It gets you into that momentum. You're in heart connection with each other. You're working together. You're lifting each other up. I basically hit diamond kind of without even knowing what was happening. And that is a really fun place to be. It doesn't have, you don't have to be as naive as I was. It was all like more than I could grasp at the time. But I just kept staying coachable and doing what they told me to do. And by the time I hit diamond, I had 2 executives. So if you do the math there, one executive is 6,000 points. The other executive is 6,000 points. That's 12,000 points out of 15,000. So by helping 2 people hit executive, and then, I had another consultant and whatever else in there, some other things, that's a pretty easy path to diamond. And that happened because I was leading with the business and attracting brand partners in, people who are ready to like plug in and do the thing. So I just share that because if you're still just sharing from the health standpoint, unless you're a clinical practitioner or you have this huge following, you're already influencing people in health, it's going to take longer to grow a business leading with the product. So I'm just planting that seed. And if it feels uncomfortable to lead with a business or you're not sure how, just know, like, great, that's where you get to work next. That's what you get to lean into. Sarah, do you have your hand raised? Oh, do you not have it raised?
I do. I'm just technologically like not super inclined. I figured it out though. Thank you. So I think one of the things that's struggling like to motivate me is like the game aspect of it is fun with like the ranks and the points and everything, but I don't see like what is I guess like the practical like benefit of it. And maybe I just haven't looked into it enough, but I figured this is the platform and I'd rather talk to a human being and ask anyhow. So
Yeah.
can you
Great.
explain that?
This call is really unstructured, so I love that people are popping in because it's being interactive is great. I called it live coaching. Like, I'm here to help you get to your next place, wherever that is, whatever questions, whatever blocks, like that's what this is for. So yeah, what is the point of ranks and goals and doing these things? Like, why can't I just grow my business organically? Just kind of like, I'm just going to share when I feel like it, when I'm inspired, which I do recommend feeling it and being inspired to share. But part of it is feeding the inspiration so that we can feel it more if we're going for a goal in order to make it happen. Where attention goes, energy flows. So if we're not focusing on a goal and we're not really seeing, sometimes we can be so ignited from the within, like Ariel was saying, like, I just like, people are on a standard American diet, people, and my condolences, you lost a family member, like that is real. That's an epidemic, the standard American diet and disease related and death from that. I mean, that's really the epidemic. You can be so ignited by your desire to support people in that way. However, most of us aren't going to be completely motivated by that alone, because we have lives and we have children and we have needs and we have things going on right in front of our faces, our own financial crisis, whatever, our own health crisis, our own mental health issues, whatever it is it can take center stage in our life. And so to stay connected to what we're doing, that's why the why is so powerful. Our success needs to be linked to a why that's going to internally motivate us. And so going back to these goals, I think of it as like climbing a mountain, where, I don't know, like drop a 3 if you've climbed a mountain, you know, like you've hiked a mountain, nothing technical. I mean, if you did, great, but like just climbed a mountain, you know, like multi hours or multi days, like it's kind of a big deal. And I was a wilderness guide for years, so I also have done this with children, and I've climbed a lot of mountains, and it can be really exhausting. It can kick your butt. And there's power in, and if you haven't climbed a mountain, just see if you can imagine this with me, if you've walked a hill. But like, imagine you see ahead this plateau, and you are really close, but right now you feel like you've hit your limit. Like you are so exhausted. You're like, I don't even know if I can make it to that plateau right now. Like and the difference between, so it's time for a rest, clearly. What do you guys think the difference is between taking that rest? I mean, let's say you have 90 something percent. You're at 90 something percent, right? So it's not, you're not 100% taxed. You still have some juice left. What's the difference between taking your pause where you are and making it to that plateau? Like, come off mute or share in the chat, whatever. Like, what do you think is the difference between taking your break at either of those two places? Like, how would that feel in your body? How would that feel in your energy levels?
It's like a concession to stop now, and then you have to trudge back onto the trail to keep going up, versus being able to rest a little bit as you start up again and get to be on the flat ground for a little bit.
Yeah, like if you make it to that plateau before you take your big break, you're like, yeah, there's a view. You get to like see beyond. Like now you're looking down at other mountaintops or valleys, and you're just like, you just gained so much energy because you had that achievement, versus like plopping down and just being like, oh my God, I still have to make it up that little section. You know, it's such a different feeling. So ranks and goals aren't just for the feeling. It's actually there's a monetary built-in thing to help you do that extra little push to get to a place, because now it's going to be so much easier to do that next section, because you like, oh, like heaved yourself over the ledge and got onto that plateau. You're like, oh, got to director. Okay. Now executive looks way more doable. But if you're like, if you plop down before director and you're thinking about executive, you're just like, I don't know, like maybe this mountain's just not for me, you know? It's a really different feeling. So the compensation plan has built in these milestones to financially push you to heave yourself over each ledge. And that little push, and maybe, you know, we're working with nervous system, like you get to decide, do you want to use the word push? Do you want to use the word, you know, ignited internal motivation, whatever it is. I've been in this 6 years, and that little last thing, when you have a goal, you end up doing things that you wouldn't have otherwise done because it's more comfortable not to. right? It's more comfortable just plop down right there, right? And I see kids do that when I'm a wilderness guide and I'm leading, and I'm like, I see kids do that all. They're like, ah, they can't see the bigger picture. It's like, why do I have to keep going? You know, like my body just wants to be right here, right now. And then it's really hard to get them to go anywhere. But if you like give them this incentive, like, look, just get over that ledge. You know, we're gonna have like our sweets break, or you know, we're gonna bust out the cold drink there, whatever. Probably don't have a cold drink on a mountain, but you know, something. Just getting them up there, now they're fired up. They have that energy and they're like, oh, now, and they just built confidence in themselves because they just did that thing that looked so impossible. So there's so much that happens in achieving a rank. The bonus is just the carrot. And if it's in Fast Start, it's a double carrot. That's still just the carrot. I mean, that's an awesome carrot, like $100 for Fast Start Consultant. That could significantly do something for your family. And then 400, and then 1,000, and then another 1,000. Like these are definitely like, they're significant Fast Start bonuses. But they're all just there to get you to do the things that are going to all compounding momentum lead to the kind of growth that get you into the really bigger income brackets. So it's a pretty like ingeniously designed compensation plan. And it really helps us when we have these bigger goals, like our whole vision and dream, our why. We have to chunk it down into sizable, doable action steps. Let me know if this is landing, if you want to come back on, Sarah, if any of that is helpful.
Yeah,
And also other voices too, I welcome.
that was definitely super helpful. I think I was looking at it like in a more like my mindset was just like very in the practical, like what's the compensation aspect of it. But when I think about it from more like goal oriented and like a motivation, like an internal motivation, I think that is like gonna be a lot more beneficial to me in the long run. So thank you for explaining all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say too, like the money that you're going to make for a consultant, for some person that might like be life changing, but generally speaking, it's more symbolic. It's not a ton of money. And you know, you'll have people be like, well, how much have you made so far? As if that's going to be the measure of your success in this business. And I'm like, the money we make at the beginning of our career in Purium is like literally pennies compared to what we're in it for. If we're here to go to the higher ranks, if we're here to go all the way to residual income and, you know, fully flushing out your whole why, then what you're making for consultant, director, even executive, like it's not why you're here. Those are the stepping stones. You have to get there in order to get to diamond and all the color diamonds and crown and royal crown. You have to go through that. But you know, like when you're like, yeah, what's the point? Like if somebody was like, why would I do all that for $100? It is confusing. It's like, that's not, $100 is nothing to me. Like I have much better things to, no. That's $1 million story, Fast Start Consultant, because it duplicates and you have other people coming in. You're like, hey, let me show you how to make your investment back in the first couple of weeks. Now you're bringing in a team and you're coaching and you're getting up into these higher ranks. So that's really like, somebody told me early on, the work we do at the beginning, we can be greatly underpaid for, and the work we do later on, we're highly overpaid for the time we're putting in. So it's like gardening, you know, you put a lot of investment in the spring for a great harvest in the fall. I could talk to you guys all day long, and I do have another call. I'm going to come late to it because I want to you know, I just want to hold space for more of anybody else who wants to come off and share. And I want to finish us off by kind of recapping the 2 calls yesterday and bring out the highlights so we can let it sink in and start to really get behind and make decisions about what action steps am I going to take next based on what's important now, when, like what the promos and my rank and all of that. So let me see if there's anybody else who wants to say anything or ask anything. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to kind of go through this notes from these two calls. And so the calls were the Unite to Rise call with Leslie, and then this customer. Go ahead and drop a 3 in the comments if you did any customer widen your reach posts, or you had a customer create a post for you to get widen your reach points and them to get $10 off their next order. Okay, so I'm guessing nobody, because I don't think I saw any of you guys on that call. And that's okay. And then this is an opportunity to be like, why didn't I do that? And ask yourself, because that was free points. They were offering, it was 70, I believe it was 75 points times 3 each week. So whatever that math is, that's how many free points you could have gotten last week. And that could have probably helped somebody here get their rank that they didn't hit. So anytime there's free points, you want to kind of figure out, how am I going to commit to making that happen? And when I say free points, it's because no sales have to happen. You don't need to get anyone to buy anything to get those points. In this case, you would have been asking a customer to make a post, and that could lead to many things, right? It could have led to somebody seeing their post and you getting a referral out of it. It could have led to them getting excited about becoming a brand partner. And it certainly led to you getting free points. The bare minimum, you got free points towards your goal. So that's what the customer widen your reach. And it's not something that they're offering right now. So it's more just like plant that seed, because they pop, well, actually, forgive me. They offer customer widen your reach points every month. They just don't triple the points. So you're still getting 25 points per referral. That can certainly add up. You can do multiple if you have multiple customers. So you're just asking you can even send them the photo. Doesn't even have to be of their face. It can be a scoop of Power Shake, and just say, hey, would you mind making a post saying something about what you've experienced or noticed or liked about this, and tag me. That's it. And then you submit it through the same back office place for widen your reach. So that's a great place to get free points. And I just want to kind of go over these promos for getting free points some more. So I love that Leslie opened up with us being able to really vision where we want to be by the end of this month, by the end of the year, and to use that language of like, wow, it's December 31st, 2022, and I am so lit up because, and then start talking about what you've achieved. Have you hit executive by that date, by or before? Have you brought in 2 or 3 new brand partners that are excited to run with you? Have you changed your financial story of what you have at the holidays to spend on your family or on a trip? Or are you just feeling more settled within yourself that the holidays aren't stressful? Do you feel more nourished and less likely to be tempted by sweets and treats and indulgences? Whatever it is, like if you're not even there yet, envision it and write it down. So I'm going to add these notes to our thread so you'll get them. But there's some great prompts of journaling that we can do to really set ourselves up for this visioning. The next thing she really talked about is this idea, like Erica said, of referrals, of a who do you know campaign. And Ariel and I had a great talk yesterday. She's a mom, 2 small children, hands full. How do I even grow a business? Her husband's starting at his own business, right? This is my story too, so I get it. Linking, and this is where Erica and I were linked up as moms starting a Purium business together. It was such a blessing to have Erica come into my business, local mom friend, we just got our kids together all the time and worked our business and attracted other moms into what we were doing. We're literally just everywhere we went. We're like, oh, this is the Million Mom movement. You just go to the beach, you go to the park, you have shakes, you're having a good time. People are like, what's happening over there? Like, I want in on that vibe. And that's literally what happened. Like Erica was like the queen of the Million Mom movement in my eyes. She was just bringing in so many moms into what we were. She has 5 kids, so we were a big energy. So that is that, and that can be like a who do you know? Like who, like, and so I was talking to Ariel about reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'm starting a new business and I'm looking for other moms who are entrepreneurs or who are also starting businesses that we can form a co-op with, and we can take turns watching each other's children while we build our businesses. And of course, that conversation can lead to not just referrals for her childcare co-op, but also business referrals. And she's establishing herself as an entrepreneur. So that's a really powerful one. You know, who do you know in a certain location? Who do you know that, you know, has children or does yoga or any of the things that you're into? Who do you know that loves to go on hikes? Like, is there a hiking club? Like, whatever you're into, find who loves to dance. Find the people who can be, you're just tapping into networks, webs, right? Mycelium. You're like, where can I tap into another web of people? Maybe you don't hardly have any friends. I hardly did. I was like this hermit in the garden. That's okay, because a lot of other people have networks and all you have to do is tap in. You just have to tap into one point and now you're connected. So that's the whole idea of who do you know, is like tapping in and being able to explore this mycelium. Again, I'll put these notes. And then, you know, you can lead with health. Who do you know that would love to, you know, be healthier this holiday season and actually start the new year better off than they are now? Like I had this idea this morning. I was like, I was thinking I would just share like how I start my morning, like what my like if you have like a coffee and eggs and toast breakfast and you want to see what I do for the first half of the day and just join me in this for 30 days, that would be amazing. Just like fruit and aminos and a shake. Like who wants to try that? You know, not even a whole ULT, just like who wants to try that with me and see how you feel and just see what you notice. I thought that could be a fun campaign because that's literally what I do every day. Like who wants to try that? There's people who can't even conceive of that, right? So it's just getting into conversation with people. I'm not going to get too deep into referrals, but I will put these notes in. And then I'm just going to kind of highlight the promos once again. So the biggest thing right now is share because you care. It is so easy to get free points. You're literally sharing other people's transformation slides in your stories. You might have to make a highlight of them. I'm not really sure. If somebody knows, let us know. Yeah, I can answer your question, Erin. Mary Beth made a whole boards called Health and Wealth Through the Holidays or something like that. If you don't already have that boards, make a note right now to get that boards. I've dropped it in our thread and I can drop it again. She has created and is inviting each one of us to create our own slides to add so that we are all resourcing each other's testimonials, health and wealth. And if you're brand new, you still have a story. It's just, here's what I'm doing. I've now found the solution for how I'm going to create what I've wanted to create for so long. And you can share other people's slides. And then corporate has their own share because you care slides. It's just that within our team culture, Mary Beth's greater team or the whole Unite to Rise team, it's more our style. So, but you have access to both. So definitely get on the share because you care, because those are free points. Who knows what day every week you want to make sure you have uploaded. If you're in your fast start window, you get regular videos. We all get share because you care, and we all get customer widen your reach. Who knows what day you want to make sure that you have all of those uploaded for the week. Friday, exactly. Yes. And that's, you know, Friday midnight central. My tip would be upload as soon as you make the post. It's honestly the easiest way to make sure that you did it, because there's no way to go back and look which ones got submitted. So you're like, wait, did I submit that one? I don't remember. Just best thing. Yeah, I think share because you care is just slides, but sharing, share, proliferate the stories in all ways. And maybe it's something that we want to put in the team board, so we can get together about that. So Erin's asking, when specifically do we pitch in the DMs, right? You're like nurturing conversation, you're showing interest, you're asking questions, you're getting them talking about their goals and their why. Okay, awesome. You can make a slide. Great. Oh, thank you. And somebody dropped the boards in there. Perfect. So everybody click on that and grab that and add it to your thing. Drop a 4 if you've had this question, like, when do I take this conversation I'm nurturing, and when do I like pop the question, right? It's kind of like, okay, we're going back and forth, we're volleying, we're interested in each other. When do I bring up Purium, right? Like, has anybody else had that feeling? Like, I just, you know, it's like, when do I tell him I like him? Right? Does anybody have that feeling? Like, because it's like that fear of like, if I say what's real and I'm feeling and I have big energy around, like, am I going to scare them away? That's why that's such a relevant metaphor, being like in middle school and wanting to tell someone they like them. It is really similar. And now that we're grown-ups, we can do our best to ground our excitement, and we aren't, each person that we speak to, we don't want to act as if they're going to be our forever date, our forever mate, because we want people to feel that we don't have any need for them. So the first thing is just to ground our energy and come from that place of, I have high intention that lots of people are going to come into my business, that brand partners are going to be magnetized to me, they're seeking this, they're going to find their solutions with me, we're going to partner and we're going to rock it to the moon together. High intention, but we're going to have a low attachment and low expectation about whether that one person is the person. And that will help them feel very relaxed themselves about the interaction. And the essence of your interaction is curiosity. Could this be the one? Could this be somebody who's looking for what I have? I don't know. We will find out by having a conversation and inviting them to learn more, and they decide, right? Or bring them to a connect call, and my upline will help them discover. But we are simply not attaching any attachment to that person. So that's the first thing, is the energetic. And then I would say when you ask the question is when you feel like you're actually in that energetic, when you're really like have released them from any need, and you're just coming from a sincere desire to serve and from sincere curiosity. I wonder, could this be somebody who's looking for what I have? Then in a more specific way, so now Erin's asking, like, you already know they're a healthcare practitioner, so you already know that they want to have health solutions for people. So do you need to have a longer conversation, or can you just pop the question? I'm just going to speak from experience and say, excuse me, not being a practitioner myself, not even necessarily being an entrepreneur pre-Purium, I was just a mom, right? I was just like homesteading mom. So you can come out the gate business forward and say, hey, I see you're a healthcare. It's going to take it. And Erin, you probably have it. it takes posture to be able to come out and confidence and belief to say, you know, you want to still edify and uplift and recognize, you know, like, hey, I've been checking out your stuff. I really value what I see you putting out there. I really honor your approach. Like, you want to show that you've actually connected on a personal way with them, and you're not just sending some message to them that you've sent to 100 practitioners you found on Instagram. That's, you want them to feel, and that's why I do advocate for a longer conversation. I feel like this is a relationship business. And from my personal experience, when I've come out the gate and just been like, hey, this is business forward, do you want to come check this out? I've had some people say, yeah, sure, I'll check it out, but I haven't signed anybody up that way. I can't say for me it's really worked to just like shoot from the hip, you know, like tending the relationship and tending a garden of relationships, having multiple seeds planted and multiple relationships going so that no one person is getting all your attention. That's what's worked best for me personally. Yeah, it did not work. I know it sounds like it should work. It should work. They're a business person, but like we're all so saturated. We are all so saturated. And the one that you know, what we want to tap into are the things that people don't have. They already have enough offers. Everybody has enough information. What people don't have enough of is being seen for who they truly are, being recognized, understood, connection, and time. And so and that's why we should just call it leading with the time, right? Like helping people see how this business is going to help them have more time. And that's the conversation with practitioners that you can eventually get to. So I'm going to drop my favorite language for practitioners in here, and then I'm going to bounce. So a lot of people think like, hey, you're a practitioner. Let me tell you about these superfoods that you can share with your clients and your patients and your customer, or, you know, and that's health forward for practitioners. And now all you're doing is giving them another job. And sure, they can keep that, they can, you know, they can carry Purium in their clinic. Yeah, can I finish first, or do you want to say something first? Just pop up if you need to go first. Okay, so that's leading with the health for practitioners. And my favorite approach with practitioners is not only leading with the business so that you can help them catch the vision of what we have, but you're also role modeling for them how to lead with the business so that that's what they also do. Because a lot of practitioners will lead, they got led with the product. Now they're just going around leading with the product and getting a whole bunch of customers, not necessarily knowing how to talk to colleagues. But if they do, they're like, hey, you could also carry this product. So here's how you lead with a business with practitioners. Edify. I really value what I see you doing, the work that you're doing. I really love how you show up, and I'm curious, what is your plan to eventually stop working one day? What is your exit strategy? Like what are your next steps, and what, you know, what do you see for the future of your business? Now you've got them talking and about like, do they have a residual income strategy set up? Because practitioners don't necessarily have retirement plans. They don't necessarily have a way that if they stop working to have a baby or travel or take care of a loved one or just want to go on vacation and like heal themselves, that they are making money. So you want to get the residual income conversation going with practitioners, and that way, like, what is your exit strategy? I'm curious. And then they're either going to be like, I don't know, or I haven't thought about it, or I don't know, or I'm working on it, or yeah, I'm like, what is my retirement plan? Like, I'm curious, what's your retirement plan? Or they're trying certain things, and then whatever they say they're doing, you're like, great, how's that working for you? So get them really identifying, like, is that working? And that's where that's when you can, if they're now saying like, yeah, I want a retirement plan, I'm not sure how to, like, I'm burning out. You know, Darby's on here. A lot of midwives I talk to, they're just like so over the hours. I don't want to be on call this much. I don't want to lose this much sleep or be so out of control with my schedule. So I love my birth work and I want to keep doing it, but I want to do it not because it's paying the bills, but just when I want to instead of all the time. So it's identifying the need for residual income, money, making money while you sleep. So you can bring up Purium once they've identified a goal or a why, which is also a goal. So once they've identified something they're looking for, that's when you can say, I'm curious. I wonder if, this thing that I'm working with could be the solution I hear you say you're looking for. Would you be open to coming and being my guest on this call today, or checking out this replay? And just feeling into it for yourself, if it resonates, if it feels like a match. If I send the link, would you check it out? That's it right there. Okay. You want to go, Erin? And then I can either leave you on if you all are enjoying talking to each other, or
My daughter just got up, so I know I can't probably shouldn't say
okay.
that. I was just gonna say really quickly, that's one thing I noticed about Leslie is like she doesn't care if the person buys from her or not. She was out there like, I want to talk to as many people as I can. So I just love that.
It's true. Eric Worre, he's like the grand poobah of network marketing. He's like, be obsessed. Be obsessed with what you're doing. Like, you don't want to be like that crazy person who's not human, but be so obsessed with what you have and what you're sharing that it becomes bigger than your fear of like, oh my God, what are people going to think about me? The people who are really out there, they don't care what those few people judging have to say. They just don't. They're just bulletproof in that way because they're so in love with what they're doing that becomes bigger. So if you haven't already fallen in love with what you're doing, do that first. Well, if anybody has more questions about promos, I mean, there's this whole Transform Now, but I feel like if you're starting out, that's a big ask to buy 3 ULT kits. If you're like, yeah, I'm doing it, I mean, that's 1,000 extra points you can get right there by selling 3 ULT kits and a UBT that you purchase yourself. And on top of it, you get points from your purchase and their purchase. And it's kind of a whole crazy shebang, but it goes hand in hand with these holiday events that people are doing, live events. And the way to get on the special training next month with Leslie, because she's doing every month, like this call yesterday was not recorded. It was epic training on how to do referrals. Next month, the way to qualify is by ranking up. So hitting your next rank or helping someone else hit a fast start rank. So there's 2 ways to get on that one for next month. And get with me personally or with your own little pod to identify what is your goal this month. And let's map it out and look at exactly what people are you helping hit other ranks to get to your goal, and how many kits are you sharing, and how many UBTs, and how much widen your reach, and how much share because you care. How can all those points add up to become your rank goal? I can help you map that out, make it very doable, sizable, relatable and friendly and safe and fun. And we can run for goals together in that way. So thank you everybody for taking the time and being here and connecting with each other. And last thing is there is so much juicy information getting dropped in the Unite to Rise Telegram thread by Mary Beth and Rita and Rachel and Roxy and Carrie Drinkwine and all kinds of other people in that thread. People are asking questions and building community, and it's so active and alive. And if you haven't already done your steps to get into that incubator, I highly recommend it. These are things you want to be doing anyway. It's not excess. This is making your list. This is, writing your goals on your action plan, creating a local event. Even if it's just you, even if you just say, I'm showing up and nobody comes, that's still an event that you're going to grow a lot from. You can have me zoom in. Some people will do events where they bring a few people and zoom me in, and you share some samples and I do a talk and boom. So join us over there at Unite to Rise. It's really potent, and I love you all. Thank you, everybody.